Hello, my name is Melody. I live in Bardstown, Kentucky, and we live in a town that's very rich in history and old homes, and a lot of Civil War action happened here, and of course what goes along with that is lots of great ghost stories, and I've been lucky enough to be a part of some of that stuff. I've known my friend Patti for 15 years, and she's been into ghost hunting and gotten us involved in it too. And the first real ghost hunt I ever went on was with her at a place called the Old Talbot Tavern. It was built in 1799, I believe. It's a hotel, restaurant, bar, a place where we all hang out. You go there and meet your friends for drinks after work, for a happy hour. We dined there many times. We've stayed the night there. We've had friends come in and stay there. And it just always feels like you are stepping back in time almost into another world there. It just feels like there's so much going on there besides just the hustle and bustle of what we're doing. So in I think in 1999, actually 98, the Old Talbot Tavern caught on fire and it burned. It was almost gutted inside. It burned so much up, and about a year later my friend Patti was the manager there, and she was able to have a ghost hunt set up. And it was we were rustic. We didn't have anything digital. We didn't have digital cameras. We didn't have all the different types of recording devices that is out on the market today. We had cassette recorders. We had a VHS recorder. We had a thermostat, a compass, a notebook. And that was about it. About 4 or 5 of us went one afternoon, and we set up tape recorders in different rooms all around the building, and each tape recorder would start with a fresh cassette tape, just unwrapped from the plastic, never used before, and we would press record, announce ourselves, who's in the room, the time of day, what room we were in, and we'd move on to the next room and do the same thing. All the while we were taking notes, and it was in the daylight hours. We were moving around doing our thing, and then as it got dark we thought, well, we'll go down and check out the basement. And not a lot of action was going on yet, but then we walked down to the basement, and there were some lots of old, almost cave-like rooms down there. It's where they kept a lot of their food storage, you know, because it was nice and cool down there. But there was an area in particular way back in a corner. And remember, this is from the early 1800s, so it's all stone, and it's cold. It's cold in the basement, or the cellar rather. But there was one area that you could physically feel it drop a few degrees, and the spook factor sent the chills through your arms and your legs. You could feel it come out of your body, and we were just terrified. We were clinging together, but we were trying to be professional, you know, and we were taking our pictures. And there was one corner that Patti took a picture of. We just really got a spooky feeling there. We felt like a presence there. I felt it at my back. It felt cooler on my back than the rest of the area was. And Patti took a picture, and of course we had 35mm film. We didn't get to see what we got until it came back from, you know, the developer, and she actually got a little mist there. Now this is a year after the fire, and no construction in the basement. Everything's been sitting down there for a year untouched, and nobody's working in these areas. They've just been abandoned. So she did get a mist, a little foggy section there in the corner, and we didn't spend as much time as we would have liked. We had to get out of the basement. It was just too much. So we went back upstairs. We set up around the table, and we all were just quiet. It was cold. We had blankets and sweatshirts, and I felt something in this room. I felt like someone was with me, and I looked up kind of to count heads, and everybody else was looking up too, and I think we all got it at the same time. And there was definitely something in there. The compass had moved a bit. We took a note of it, and later on, and I'll tell you, it all added up about the same time. The compass moved, the thermostat went a couple degrees down, and we made notes of this. And we decided to get up and move around and get out of there after that. It was getting a little too deep for us. So we moved back, did our rounds again, and we stayed until maybe about midnight or so. And it was a blue moon night. It was just the perfect night to set up our first official ghost hunt. All the conditions were right. So we went home, went to bed. The next day, Patti called me. She was sitting in a quiet house, knitting, listening to all these tapes closely. She said, "Melody, did you happen to go back in one of the rooms and say anything?" And I said, "Well, of course not. I was terrified. You know, I was the biggest chicken there. I wouldn't have left and gone anywhere on my own." She said, "Well, it sounds like your voice. Come over and listen to it." So I went over to Patti's, and each time we all walk into the room, you can hear the grit on the floor, you know, the shuffle of our feet. Remember, it's been burned, it's under construction. There's no glass in the windows, but there's plastic up. You can hear cars passing outside in the night. But you definitely hear us walk into these rooms each time. And we announce ourselves, announce the time. But this one time, you don't hear anything. I hear a car off in the distance, and you hear this voice right over that recorder. And it's a voice, it's a female voice, it's a deeper voice like mine. And she says, "Welcome to the Talbot. Have a seat." And then she trails off. It's a little bit blurry at the end there. So we listened to it over and over and over, and then we took it down to the radio station guy, had him slow it down a little bit, and he heard the same thing we did. "Welcome to the Talbot. Have a seat." Patti says, she says, "I'll serve you." I say, "Welcome to the Talbot. Have a seat. I'll kill you."